I thought that the four of us would bring me and William closer together. We could go out and do work together before it was Meghan, whoever it was going to be. I always hoped that the four of us would get on, but very quickly it became Meghan versus Kate.
That was partly the press's fault, Harry said, but also because Meghan was not made to feel welcome by William and Kate.
And some of the things that my brother and sister-in-law, some of the way that they were acting or behaving.
What do you mean specifically?
Well, American actress, divorced, biracial, there's all different parts to that and what that can mean.
Welcome back to Clout Therapy, where we break down the biggest drama everyone's whispering about. And today, oh, this one's royal level messy. 2 brothers, 1 wedding, years of bad blood. Prince Harry and Prince William, once the closest of allies, now barely making eye contact. We've all seen the glow-up montage, little boys in matching outfits, laughing in the palace gardens. Fast forward to icy stares and headlines screaming rift. And now, they're about to face each other at a wedding watched by millions. This isn't just a family reunion. It's a ticking time bomb in designer suits, wrapped in centuries of tradition and a whole lot of unresolved drama. We're breaking it all down. What led to this? Who's really to blame? And why this might be the most awkward royal moment yet. Grab your tea, because this is Clout Therapy. Peter Phillips. For most people, that name barely rings a bell, and that's exactly how he likes it. He's Princess Anne's son, the late Queen Elizabeth's oldest grandson, and somehow the only royal who's managed to live his life without being swallowed by palace drama. No explosive interviews, no awkward scandals, no secret tell-all memoirs. Just a man who works, smiles for the cameras when he has to, and disappears the second the photo op is over. Honestly, if the royal family had a most likely to avoid chaos award, it would go to Peter every single year. So when news broke that Peter had gotten engaged, everyone thought, finally, a royal headline that's just happy. His fiancée, Harriet Spurling, isn't a celebrity, an aristocrat, or an heiress. She's a nurse, a children's nurse no less, smart, grounded, genuinely kind. The kind of woman the British press can't even pretend to hate. Together they looked like a fairy tale the royals desperately needed. Wholesome, simple, safe. But here's the thing about the royal family. Even the most harmless story can hide a storm. See, before the public finds out, there's a certain way these announcements happen. Royal protocol. It's tradition that the closest family members are told first. A courtesy. A show of respect. So Peter picked up the phone. He called William. He called King Charles. He called Camilla. The news was met with warm congratulations. And then, that was it. No call to Harry. No text. Not even a hope you're well email. It might seem small, but in royal land, it's not small at all. It's deliberate. It's symbolic. It says you're not in the loop anymore. And it's not just Peter's choice. It's a reflection of the family temperature. Harry's not just physically distant in California. He's been quietly and very publicly edged out of the inner circle. So while the headlines gushed about Peter and Harriet's love story, the real story was brewing underneath. Because that one missing phone call, it planted the seed for what's about to be the most awkward royal reunion in years. And when the wedding invites go out, that seed is about to grow into a full-blown PR nightmare. They weren't just cousins, they were a crew. Harry, William, Peter, and Zara. 4 kids growing up inside the royal bubble but finding their own fun in it. Garden races at Balmoral, sneaking sweets from the kitchen at Sandringham, long summer rides on ponies that always seemed just a little too stubborn. They were close, really close. Different parents, different roles in the line of succession, but the same weird, privileged world only they could understand. And because of that, they had each other's backs, always. Fast forward a couple decades, and the cracks start to show. William stepping into the role of future king. Peter staying under the radar. Zara carving her own path with equestrian glory. And Harry, taking a very different road. Megxit didn't just redraw the royal family tree, it split the cousins too. Private group chats went silent. Invitations stopped coming. That easy laughter from their childhood was replaced by awkward public moments where they barely made eye contact. It's not that they became enemies overnight, it's worse. They became strangers. And now, Peter's wedding is forcing the four of them back into the same room, same pew, same camera shot, for the first time in years. All the old memories are still there. So are all the new tensions. And that, my friends, is a recipe for royal disaster. For Harry, this isn't just another family wedding. This is a shot at redemption, or at least damage control. Because not too long ago, he took one of the most public royal L's of his life. Remember the Hugh Grosvenor wedding? The Duke of Westminster, one of the richest men in Britain, godfather to both Harry and William. That event was a royal who's who, the A-list of the aristocracy. William wasn't just invited, he was an usher. Front and center, greeting guests, representing the crown. And Harry, nowhere to be seen. Not even a seat in the back row. That wasn't just awkward, it was brutal. Because the Hugh Grosvenor wedding wasn't some random society event. It was a major networking moment, the kind of place where alliances are made, photos are taken, and reputations get polished. For Harry to be iced out of that guest list was more than a snub. It was a very public reminder that he's not part of the royal machine anymore. And for someone who once lived in that spotlight, who thrived on being at the heart of it all, that stings. Which is why Peter's wedding suddenly matters a whole lot more. This is a rare opening for Harry to be seen in the fold again, to show up, shake hands, smile for the cameras, and remind the world that titles or not, he's still a Windsor. It's about optics as much as it's about family. If he skips this one, it feeds the narrative that he's isolated, shut out, drifting further and further from the dynasty he was born into. But if he goes, it's a statement, a reminder that even if he's on the outside, he can still step back in when it counts. And you better believe he knows every flashbulb and headline will be waiting to capture that moment. It's been years since Harry and William had anything close to a warm moment, and every public appearance since has only made it worse. Take the Queen's funeral. The whole world was watching, waiting to see if grief would bring the brothers together. Instead, not even a glance, no nod, no quiet exchange as they walked side by side behind her coffin. Just two stone-faced men looking straight ahead, as if the other didn't exist. Before that, there was the Platinum Jubilee, a celebration of their grandmother's 70 years on the throne, a perfect chance for a truce. But when Harry and Meghan showed up, they were seated rows away from William and Kate. No small talk, no casual, "How have you been?" Just polite, frozen distance. The kind where every smile looks forced and every move feels calculated. And then there was the Diana statue unveiling. This should have been their moment, honoring their mother together, the woman who shaped both of their lives. But instead of shared emotion, we got awkward body language and clipped words. They posed for photos, said what they had to say, and walked away like business partners who couldn't wait to get out of the same room. Each meeting since Megxit has been colder than the last. Whatever was left of their bond has been chipped away in public view. And now, Peter's wedding is the next test. No more carefully staged, separate entrances. No more hiding behind royal protocol. This time, they'll have to stand in the same space, smile for the same cameras, and pretend the frostbite between them doesn't exist. The tension between Harry and William isn't just about a few cold handshakes. It's rooted in years of deep, personal wounds. For William, the trust was shattered the moment Harry sat down for that Oprah interview. Private family matters spilled onto global TV, accusations that painted the monarchy as cold, even cruel. And then came Spare, Harry's memoir, where he didn't just air dirty laundry, he named names. William, Kate, no one was spared from the jabs. For William, that wasn't just bad PR, it was betrayal. And then there's what the family sees as Harry's double standard. He left the UK for peace, to escape the press. Yet he's still on Netflix, still doing interviews, still feeding the very spotlight he claimed was destroying him. In the royal mindset, that's not protecting your privacy. That's playing the fame game on your own terms. And they notice. But the Meghan factor can't be ignored. Fair or not, her presence changes everything. For the family, she's seen as the spark that lit the fuse. They blame her for pushing Harry away, for encouraging the tell-all approach, for creating a them versus us mentality. And Meghan knows it. Every time she's in the room, the temperature drops 10 degrees. Whether that's because of who she is or what she represents, doesn't really matter. The damage is done. So when Harry and William stand side by side at Peter's wedding, all of that history, the interviews, the book, the headlines, Meghan will be sitting there with them. Invisible, but impossible to ignore. And that's why one polite smile won't be enough to convince anyone that this rift is even close to healing. Picture it. The wedding day arrives, cameras lined up, lenses ready to catch every flicker of emotion. Scenario 1. Harry and William meet at the church steps. A quick handshake, a polite smile that doesn't reach the eyes. It's over in 3 seconds, but it's enough for every paper to run "Brothers Reunite" across the front page, ignoring the fact that the handshake looked like two CEOs sealing a boring business deal. Scenario 2, they don't speak at all. They pass each other in the aisle like total strangers. No nod, no glance, nothing. And suddenly the headlines scream, "Royal rift worse than ever," with grainy freeze frames of Harry looking left while William looks right. Then there's scenario 3. They manage to steal a moment alone. No cameras, no mics, just them in some quiet side room. From the outside, it looks civil. But inside, the tone is sharp. Words are clipped. Maybe it's an argument. Maybe it's just years of resentment spilling out in 30 tense seconds. No matter what actually happens, the press will feast. Every blink, every shift in posture, every awkward smile will be dissected, zoomed in, and spun into a narrative. Because in this family, sometimes the real show isn't the vows. It's the body language in the background. This wedding might just go down in history for everything but the vows. Not the dress, not the speeches, but the glances, or lack of them, across that church. Because for all the centuries of tradition, all the royal protocol, it's those unscripted moments between Harry and William that everyone will be watching. Will they smile? Will they speak? Or will this be the final nail in the coffin for their relationship? I want to know what you think. Is there even a chance of a thaw? Or are we about to witness the frostiest family reunion yet? Drop your take in the comments, because you know we'll be breaking down every second of that day. And trust me, once this wedding happens, the real tea will be even hotter. Stay tuned, because we'll be right here with the full royal play-by-play.